welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Palacio, and on this channel we talk about all things beauty. Today we are here to do this Valentine's Day inspired affordable makeup that is absolutely transfer proof, and I'm gonna go over what I used in this makeup look to make sure that on Valentine's Day you don't have to worry about your makeup transferring off, being on your mask, or not lasting all date night. So before we get into the tutorial, I just want to remind you guys that we are in an 8-week giveaway marathon where I'm giving away something every single week. This week I am so excited because it is in inspiration or to celebrate a collaboration that I'm doing on Instagram. I am giving away this huge box filled with tons of goodies. This is a 13-piece makeup and skincare set. Let me open it up and show you guys what is in here because it is so good. I can't believe it. When I saw this, I knew that I had to get it for one of you guys. So inside of here, you will get an eyeshadow palette, a Morphe setting spray, lip liners, brush sets, skincare. It is a ton of goodies just for you guys. Thank you so much for your support during this giveaway. We have grown so much in the past 4 weeks, and now to start off the 4th week, we are giving you more goodies. So guys, the details to this giveaway are down in the description box. The rules are super simple, and the winner is announced on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, look me up. It's Jojo_Palacio. I am going to just stop chit chatting. I know you're gonna scroll down and look for this prize because honey, this is the biggest one yet. I hope that you guys join us on this giveaway, and let's get started on this beautiful, affordable, transfer-proof Valentine's Day makeup. All right, guys, so let's get started on this eye look. We are going to start off by prepping it with our P. Louis eye base. So I'm gonna take this on a brush and we're just gonna apply it directly to the brush and then spread it on the lid. Okay, so once you have your lid base on, I like to set it with some powder. So I'll take a nice fluffy brush and whatever setting powder I have nearby, and I'm just gonna push that up against the entire lid because to me it's easier to blend powder over powder than it is powder over a wet base. So we're gonna go into my Naughty palette by BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna pick up Frosting, or no, I'm gonna pick up Santa Baby, which is this like dusty rose color, and that's gonna help us blend things out a little better. I know that I typically like to use the darkest color in the shadow palette first, or in the color scheme first, so that I can build and it'll be a little easier. However, with this look and the way that these shadows are blending out, I just figured this would be easiest for us today. So I'm gonna get a good coat of this Santa Baby all over my eyelid. And we're gonna focus it above the crease and in the outer corner. One thing I did notice about this shadow is that it wasn't as smooth as the other mattes we're gonna be dealing with, so I had to stop for a minute and blend it out with Frosting, which is like a lighter pink. It has a little bit of a peachy tone to it, but I'm gonna just put that right over where Santa Baby is so that it can really help to smooth out the edges. And we're gonna go back and forth between Frosting and the next shade, which is that bright pink that you guys are seeing, to help smooth things out. Yeah, so that blended things down a little bit and it really calmed down a lot of the choppiness that was going on. It's funny how in one palette there could be so many different formulas depending on how the color was mixed or formulated. Okay, awesome. So moving on to a smaller brush, we're gonna take this guy right here. This is part of a Morphe X Jeffree Star brush set that was on sale. We're gonna take a shade called Candy Cane, which is this guy right here. That's that like rich pink, almost red tone, like you don't know what it is. We're gonna take that, we're gonna pick that up on a nice small brush. The smaller the brush, the more focused, the more packing we get to do with the colors. And so what I'm gonna do is I want the darkest pigmentation to be in this outer corner. So I like to stamp off and get rid of most of the product where I want it to be the darkest. And then once I feel like the brush has started to really diffuse and reduce in the amount of powder that's in it, we're gonna blend that in towards the inner corner. I want pigment, I want it to be super pigmented, super built up. So once we have such good pigment, we're gonna go back into that Frosting shade, and we're just going to buff out the edges of this dark pink color I want there to be pigment, but I also want things to be seamless and blended out super nicely, especially towards this top part of the crease, because it's gonna be a cut crease. We're gonna fix this bottom part, but up here, that's what's gonna show through, as you can see, once we start to layer our colors and our lid shade. So you wanna make sure that you're being aware and you're being conscious of the blend that's there. So I like to tilt my head back, very light pressure, circular motions, and I'm gonna do this from inner to outer corner and just making sure that everything is blended out. Oof, you guys see that blend? I am obsessed. Boom, we've gotten here pretty quickly. So I'm at the point where I'm ready to go into my base again and cut the crease so that we can start to create some dimension and some transitions, honey. So what I like to do is use a synthetic flat brush. I wasn't using a synthetic before, but I've learned that using a synthetic really does help to make the difference of how the product applies. So what I like to do is just stamp it right about there in the inner corner, and then we're gonna stop for a minute and look up and let it mark itself out naturally. Because if you don't, what's gonna happen is as you go about your day or your night, because your shadows are touching each other, they're just gonna transfer and bleed, and it doesn't look as nice. Boom, so this is where we're at. Like I said, we're gonna go back to that dark shadow and we are going to blend out the edges of this outer corner so that it's not so harsh. And so with this sharpness and that almost radiance that you see, I'm gonna take an angled brush and that same shadow, that same pink shadow in the brush. If you have this palette, the shade is called Candy Cane, and I'm just gonna trace it out. I have dampened this before to kind of make it almost like a liner, but this shade was so pigmented I didn't need to, so we're just gonna trace this out. All right, so we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna focus on this very inner corner glow, and to do that we're gonna mix the shades Ornament and Snow Day, which is like a frosty pink and a frosty white. So cool, and that's not even damp. This is like a dry brush. Love it. And then what I did in the center below this glowiness going on is I took the shade Ornament, which is that frosty pink, and I just very lightly, oh, it's so pigmented, holy moly. Stamp that in the center beneath what we're about to go in and do, because this shade, this is like a paper. It's not necessarily a glitter, so you do need some type of color underneath it. So between the pink and the sparkle of that frosty pink, it's gonna work perfectly well. So the next item that I'm gonna use are actually, it's a pigment that you see in the center of my lid here from Kaima Cosmetics. You can look them up on Instagram. That's how I found them. I was just kind of browsing for a glitter makeup look and they came up on my feed and I was not disappointed. So because it is a pigment or a mica, we're gonna use their glue that they sent. And so I'm gonna take the glue and I'm going to apply that in the center of my lid so that I can focus the product there and the product will just stick directly over where I put the glue. It's so pretty. I can't wait for you guys to see this in action. It is like gorgeous. And so it comes in a pot like this. I'm gonna dump it all if I like, I'm not careful. And I'm gonna pick it up with a flat brush that had the glue on it and we're gonna just stamp it on. I love sparkles and pigments like that because they dress up a look super quick. Like it's super glam. And I know they look intimidating because of all the glue and whatnot, but it's super easy to use. This is probably the easiest thing I've done in a really long time to get a glam look. So don't be discouraged. It's called Kaima Cosmetics. I'll tag them below in the description box so that you guys know exactly where to find this pigment and just, you know, glam up the look. So we're gonna put on some mascara and some liner. All right guys, so let's get started on complexion. Let me just say that I am obsessed. I like took way longer than I needed to just staring at my eyes. I am so excited. Comment down below if you guys love the idea of this pigment or if it intimidates you. Like I would love to know. But we're moving right along. I wanna use more of the drugstore products. I just did a haul for NYX Cosmetics, but I also got some e.l.f. So I will link that one here as well too. So today we're using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer in the midsection. This is great for filling up pores, smoothing out any texture, helping to just camouflage anything going on. as far as smoothness, texture goes. I love this primer. I wore it the other day and it was so good. Just like this one. This is the e.l.f. Mint Melt Face Cooling Primer. Can't really read it because of the lighting, but it is so good. This is absolutely a dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. My makeup wore so well that day between this and the e.l.f. Setting Mist. Let me just tell you guys that those worked beautifully together. I wore my mask for about 20 minutes straight, and when I took off my mask, there was zero makeup on the mask and there was zero smudging on my face. So highly recommend it. It's $8. I actually want to do a challenge on that. I mentioned it on Instagram, but I didn't really poll it, but I would love to know your guys' feedback. So if you want to see one of my mask setting spray challenge videos that I've done, so far I've done 2. One was on the Milk Makeup, the other one was on the Urban Decay. And I would love to show you guys the e.l.f. So just comment down below and tell me if you're interested. So let's move on to complexion. For complexion today, I'm getting the NYX Total Control Drops. This is by no means new. It's not a new product at all, but I have been so curious to try this because I've seen it around for a while and I've just never purchased it. So today I did, and I'm here for it. I don't even know how to apply this. If the back of my hand usually works pretty well, so I'm just gonna take a full dropper on the back of my hand. This is supposed to be like the Cover FX cover drop, where it is good coverage, very lightweight. I mean, wet blemish. Wow, this is really good. This is in the shade Buff, which is probably gonna be too light for me right now because I did tan, and I'm probably gonna get darker within the next few days as the tan continues to cook. But I'll tell you what, this foundation is nice. Wow. Okay, we didn't mind this at all. So let's go in and warm up, bronze up, contour up the complexion. I'm using my Wet n Wild contour stick to help me just kind of bring back some color because this is definitely too pale for me right now. And I'm gonna blend that out with my BH Cosmetics brush. I'm gonna push that into the hairline. I feel so weird with my hair down when I'm doing a tutorial. It's so awkward. All right, so that was to warm us up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and contour with another drugstore product. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I'm obsessed with this concealer. It is so good for contouring. The shade is perfect. It is that like deep, cool toned, but not super ashy where you look dirty almost. It's perfect. I'm gonna put that on the temples, and I like to focus the majority of mine on my cheekbones, so you'll build it up quite a bit there. But this is depending on your face shape, right? So if you're someone who has a smaller forehead already, you don't wanna add more shadow to there because it'll just make you look like you have no forehead. Look at us. I love this. This is so skin-like and natural and beautiful looking. I know. I still have the nose contour that's not blended out, but we're not blending it out just yet. We're gonna apply our concealer. So I have been hauling, getting new things like crazy. Like I said, I did an e.l.f. haul and I got a ton of e.l.f. products, which is why you're seeing them here. And I tried the e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer for the first time. I have to say that I'm quite obsessed. I got it in 2 shades, Light Ivory and Light Sand. Light Sand we're gonna use as our concealing shade, so I like to put it in the smaller triangle, which is that very area directly below the eye, and then I will use it anywhere where there's redness or any type of blemish, anything that I want to cover up further that the foundation didn't cover up, we'll use. Sometimes my chin just needs a little bit of reinforcement. So what I'm going to do is take the smaller sponge of my Hank & Henry, and we're just going to blend that in. The idea is that you cover anything up with this shade. This shade is almost similar, if not maybe 1 shade lighter than what my foundation shade typically is. That's what I like to conceal with. This is such a good hydrating concealer. It is full coverage. It is absolutely a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. So let's brighten up a little bit. Ooh, I'm liking this with the Light Ivory, which is definitely 2 to 3 shades lighter. I just like a bright under eye area. And then I'm also gonna lift this area up by applying some there. I'm gonna do this a little higher, and then definitely the bridge and tip of my nose. Awesome, we're totally concealed. I love the way that this concealer feels and looks. It's just so great. So what I'm gonna do is we are going to set the under eye area, and I tried, I got this NYX HD finishing powder, which is supposed to be like a dupe for the Makeup Forever HD powder. I'm not sure, I haven't tried this one. That's what it looks like right there. So what I'm gonna do is take my Luxie Precision Foundation brush, which is what I love to build with powder underneath my eyes. I'm gonna build it on the brush first, and I'm going to just pat it to start setting. This is gonna be a brightening powder. It also helps to smooth out, and the HDness is supposed to make it photograph really well, make it seamless, no flashback. So I'm curious to see how this one does. And once I have a few layers on, guys, I will always pat the products onto the areas that I'm trying to apply, because I don't want to roll, I don't want to lift anything at that point. So if you're someone who is drier or you're good with where you're at, you can stop. You don't have to bake, but I'm definitely going to bake for two reasons. One, I just like the way that that looks against my oily skin as the day goes on. I don't have to worry about the oil buildup coming through and just messing up my makeup. I don't have to worry about flashback. And then the second reason is because I'm going to go in and do my under eye area, and that pink is no joke. I don't want to mess it up. All right, so for baking, I'm taking the Patrick Star One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. It's so hard to get that powder out of the container, but it is a nice powder. The struggle is almost as real as with my Hourglass. Like, I love the Hourglass powder. It is so good, but it's so hard to dispense from that thing. So, all right, so to go back under the eyes, what I want to do is just mimic what we did above. So what I will do is I will take a little bit of that light pink shade, or the Santa Baby, which is that dusty pink shade. We're gonna take that on a pretty dense blending brush like this guy, and we're just gonna work that underneath here. Boom, and then we're gonna go back into that same brush we used to blend out the pink and just do the same thing over it. Beautiful. I just used that same brush and that like light pink peachy tone that we did to blow out all of this up here down there as well, so that everything is matching. So for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take some beige or a white liner, and then I'm gonna put on some mascara. We're gonna use the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara, and then I'll put the liner on. So let's finish up the eyes with a brow highlight and an inner corner highlight. I think I'm just gonna take that pink that we used like over the lid, right in the inner corner, as well as brow bone, because it goes perfectly. And I like to sweep that almost up here. So we still have a ton of powder on our face, and I'm gonna keep it there for just a minute longer because we're gonna go in and contour and bronze with our NYX Pro Contour and Highlight palette. So to contour up a little further, I'm gonna take the deeper tones with an angled Real Techniques brush. This is just gonna help me really chisel it out and keep it very focused on a specific area, which is, to me, I like to make sure I accent my cheekbone and then sweep anything else directly underneath of the chin to, you know, slim us up a little bit. And then to bronze up, I'm gonna use a fluffier brush and some of the lighter colors here to just help me get a bronze look. I love that everything is in one palette, and it's such an affordable palette. Now that that is blended out, I'm gonna use my absolute favorite powder at the moment, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. I love this powder. I'm currently looking for a dupe for you guys so that we can figure this out together. But I'm just gonna dust all that off, as well as diffuse and further blend out my contouring, my bronzing with this powder. I'm telling you guys, if you want something that's gonna help you and your makeup be transfer proof, this is it. Just use it pretty far away because it is such a chunky such a chunky setting spray that it will like literally wet you. Look at my hair, it's like soaked. Help, e.l.f., work on that. Yeah, I like just took a shower in that. Look at this, my hair is soaked wet. Okay. anyways, as that is drying, I like to take my sponge and just push it into specific areas that I feel like could use a little bit of TLC. This step just helps to marry all of your powders, all of your layers, your creams, your foundation, everything just melts into each other and you're just helping it. So for highlight, we are trying the NYX High Glass Illuminating Powder. I'm excited for this. So I'm gonna take my Morphe highlighting brush that comes in my kit. For those of you guys that don't know or have not participated yet, I'm actually giving a few of these away as part of my giveaway. The giveaway is a 8-week giveaway where I am doing a giveaway every single week. I will announce it here and as Instagram as well. So this week you saw in the intro what I was giving away, which is a huge box including skincare, eyeshadow, lip, brushes. So don't miss out on this week's giveaway. Go ahead and follow the rules in the description box below so that you can sign up. But anyways, look at this. This is very, very glossy, very pretty. So for blushes, yes, I have a drugstore blush for you guys. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte in the shade Totally Chill, which I feel like will go perfect with this look. So I'm just gonna take that on an angled brush. I don't know how pigmented these are, so I'm just gonna take that very lightly and just work that in between the highlights and the bronzer so that I can just marry all the colors together, but I love this. Okay, awesome. So our complexion is finished. We just need to do our lips and our hair. So I'm gonna take care of my lips and my hair off of camera and I will be back to the outro. All right guys, so this is the finished look here. I paired it with the nude lip just so that the eyes could be the center of attention. For lips, we use 2 more NYX products. It is the NYX Suede Lip Liner in the shade Sandstorm, which is one of my absolute favorites by them. And then I also tried out a new NYX Lingerie lipstick, which is the Satin Ribbon. It is such a good nude color to create this ombre. So that is it for today's look. I hope that you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and look below in the description box for this week's giveaway. I am so excited for you guys to see it and take part in it. And that is it, guys. Love you, bless you, and I'll see you guys next time.